Are you wondering why the market is down? Yeah, we are too. It's very confusing. We're going to go through that today, why we think, on Unhinged Crypto. So welcome, everybody. And so this is Bill. Obviously,
Hi, thanks for having me.
Point to yourself, so I forgot you were there.
Yeah,
You gotta go.
so hard to miss.
So, why is the market down? You tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
I think somebody is out there liquidating altcoins. Like somebody might be in trouble, like Tether, or somebody is forcibly liquidating. Like Bitcoin's fine, basically. So's ETH. But
Solana.
Solana, right? Solana was at 170, and I'm like, okay, here we go, 250. Market's like, Bill, how about 130 instead?
Yeah, still way up from last year, though.
Right, of course.
So
right.
I always like to look at the positive.
Right.
And, like you used to call me the Solana psychic because I...
Used to.
Yeah.
The Solana psychic.
Because I tried to get everybody in last year after consensus. But yeah, I mean, when we talked earlier this year, I said I felt like we were going to see like a repeat of last spring and summer, with the bounce back coming in August like it did last year, and then again October and December. I feel like those same dates are still, really good, it's just the summer is slow. But the forced liquidation thing, that's interesting to look at. Why do you think that they would be liquidating? They're in trouble in what way?
It was about it's a good question. So it's about the nature of the price action, right? In other words, the consensus conference comes out, and then what they call unemployment or payroll numbers were released, which the government has actually admitted are overstated. Yet the market went down anyway in fear of interest rates and the Fed, and it just kind of kept going.
Well, it's interesting too. So because we've talked about this before, and with crypto decoupling, right? I mean, I think especially the longer it stays around, the less it's going to be influenced by these minor local financial
Events.
issues, right? Yeah, because yes, the U.S. does have one of the largest economies, and so if it's doing bad, it can sort of affect it. But really, the whole point of crypto was to be outside of all of that, right? So I don't like looking for issues within local economies, right? Because we could be having trouble here, but China is not. Africa, I mean, there's whole countries that run on cryptocurrencies, right? That are very different. So I feel like that's not it. I like the point that you brought up earlier, that it might be somebody liquidating.
Right, somebody being forced out. Because the thing that bothers me is not that it goes down. It's just that when it goes down, there's either no bounce, or there are sharp rallies which are short-lived, which, dare I say it, is a hallmark of like a bear market, right? It doesn't feel like a bull market correction, right? At least it hasn't lately. Now, bull markets can scare you out, and I don't want to be Chicken Little, which is why I'm consulting the Solana psychic on this. But there is this like, I'm expecting Solana at 140 after being at 180. I'm expecting people to be like, okay, yeah, let's go, right? I'm not seeing the, okay, yeah, let's go yet, right? Is that coming? Is it, are we going to sleep? Or is there I don't know, is there something out there?
No, I think everything is going to recover by the end of the year. Another thing that's a possibility, which is, something we see a lot with like meme coins. It's too, when these layer ones get kind of stalled a little bit,
right?
Then people may be looking for something more exciting,
Okay.
And it could be, Solana doesn't have an ETF yet, which to me is a good reason to buy it because I imagine it will, since everybody else has one.
Right.
You had to join the big kids,
Right.
You're not the baby anymore. So to me, that's a buy signal, but some people maybe not, and maybe the retail market is focusing on something that appears to be a little more exciting. Other sectors, like I've seen the gaming coins blowing up in the last month or so too, and I even think it's early days for that, so maybe attention is just being shifted,
Okay.
maybe it's a combination of those two things, right? But when you're thinking about it, the way I think about it is like, I love to shop. You would never guess, but I do. I love to shop. And so for me, it's like things are going on sale, because we all know, I mean, if you're investing in something, that's newer and maybe hasn't proven itself, then maybe there's a chance that you'll, get washed out of it, but for everything else, do we think Bitcoin is going to disappear by December? No. So it's on sale. Yes. You should buy more, lots.
All right. Well, I mean, that's good news because there's some, I don't want to say doom, but there's people out there who are getting more negative, and I felt like I suddenly got caught up in that.
Oh yeah.
And the most loathsome creature in crypto is the late stage bear. Like there's nothing worse than having it go down and then having you get bearish at that point. Right?
Yeah.
It scares retail off. It's just a really bad look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would almost rather say, okay, let's think positive, right? But also have some shekels in case you want to pick up gaming, in case there's a sector that suddenly gets hot, right?
Yeah, this is a
Three
time to
quarters of the market
reevaluate.
is.
Yeah, it's a time to reevaluate. I mean, none of this, well, not none of this, but crypto is not going away, And the reason that it's profitable is because of its volatility. So you can't ride the bull wearing diapers. That's my favorite phrase.
Right.
Like, don't be a baby. Don't, put your big girl panties on and realize that the reason that you make money is because it goes down and then it goes up. The volatility is what makes it profitable, right?
Okay.
And how boring would it be if, investing in crypto was like buying a house where, we'll get a 3% return every year. I mean, you can live in it, so obviously there's benefits to it, but it's not very profitable, really, when you compare to inflation and all that kind of stuff. We don't want cryptos to be steadily rising at 3% every. Do you know what I mean? That's
right.
You're not going to make any money that way. So you need something that's volatile, and so
Okay, so when we talk about the market being wobbly over the summer, there's a couple different kinds of wobbly, right? There's like wobbly in a confined space, and then there's wobbly like, I don't know, falling off your skateboard on a half pipe, that kind of wobbly.
I don't feel like it's going to be that extreme, and it hasn't been that extreme. Like if you remember early days of Bitcoin, it was like huge up, huge down. That was, and we're not really seeing that right now. So in a way, cryptos, at least the more established ones, aren't, they're not seeing those wild swings like they used to. So it'll be wobbly, but it really doesn't matter. It's like, so we brought up Wobbles. We'll talk about Wobbles if anybody remembers. They were cute. And they went like this. And you know what happens when you poke it? Like you can poke it once and it'll do a big wobble and then it'll come back and each wobble gets a little bit smaller and eventually it stops wobbling. I think the most important thing is not how big is it going to wobble, but again, it depends on your strategy. If you're looking to liquidate, you probably should have already got out. I don't see any sense in getting out of, at least the major ones at this point, because they're all going to recover in the fall. So just ignore the wobbles, because we know where it ends up. It ends up with the Weeble is upright in the end, right?
Okay.
That's the most important thing. But if you're looking for big wobbles, then so you can buy, that's a good thing to do, you know. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be that bad. I really don't.
So maybe more boring. You know, is that because I mean that was last summer?
Yeah,
right?
that's what I said. I think it's going to get
just
really boring, and that's why it's really cool. Just ignore that and start looking at these newer projects that are growing and
right.
use the bubbles like I do.
Right. I mean, real world assets, Ondo, all this stuff, like anything that BlackRock sneezes and certain cryptos can just fly.
Yeah.
Right. And of
so
course,
that's what I feel like. It's just boring. So, hold on. Don't even worry about that and start looking for these exciting new projects. One of the things that I was really excited talking to people at Consensus about some of the cross-chain stuff. Super excited about that.
so like Rune and
I've loved Room for a long time. So.
and anything that goes cross chain and DeFi and things like that, still at the top of the list.
Absolutely. And gaming, anything.
GameStop sitting on $4 billion.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, anything fun or that makes things easier for people coming in. So I like the gaming industry because that is a great way to get people in,
Okay.
to get people engaged because it's fun.
Play to earn.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. That's really fun. I tried it. I'm not a gamer. I got really bored after about 20 minutes.
Sorry.
I'm not.
Well, they're not made for us, I think. But
well, it doesn't.
Well, of course, if they did, that would be revolutionary, right?
It could be.
Somebody came up with the crypto version of Nintendo Wii. And you're like, what's the Nintendo Wii? Okay.
See, I liked the Wii because I could do the thing for real.
Right.
Like the tennis game and you swing the little stick like you... I just get bored sitting still for too long. I'm a little bit hyper, maybe.
All right. Well, that's why we never get boring in crypto. So one last quick question. Mm-hmm. Bitcoin over 100 by the end of the year. Does that resonate?
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about this earlier this year. And, of course, it was so easy to believe when, everything was bullish and shooting up. But it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen.
All right.
We should do another video on timing because we haven't done timing in a while yet.
All right. Stay tuned for the next video on timing. We'll see you next time.